Hello, I'm Bill Miller. In my first video, I said I was going to talk to you about how to prepare for retirement. And I told you that I felt that I had some qualification for talking about this because I had some experience. I'm 87 now, or a few months from it. So I've got 25 years experience of being retired. For education, I've got a bachelor's in business, management information systems. And then I went to graduate school and I got an MBA. I don't particularly think I'm a very smart guy, and you don't have to be smart to prepare for retirement. But there are three things. The number one and most important thing, and the thing I want to talk to you about today, is your health. If you don't have your health, I don't know how you're going to be retired. It's going to be really tough. If you're in perfect health now, that's the beginning. If you have any problems with your health now, you have to work twice as hard as the guy that has good health. So you better be paying attention to someone to talk about your health and getting ready for retirement. If you're 40 now, your health is not going to get any better. If you're 50, it's even more serious. If you're 60, buddy, it's serious time. If you're 70, I think it's almost too late. But I'll talk about me, and maybe I disprove that. I retired at age 60. My company went bankrupt, and I looked around, tried to find a job, could not find a job. I was too old. They never said that, but all the opportunities just dried up. I could get a job at a third of my pay. I didn't want that. By that time I had enough money, I thought I'd retire. If I really stretch my dollars, I can make it. So that was my plan. I had to wait until my wife could retire 2 years. So I had plenty of time to think. So by 1995, I had a minor heart attack. That made me serious about my health. It just scared the living heck out of me. And like everything I do in life, I overdid it. The first day out of the hospital, I walked maybe 100 yards. I walked further every single day. After a while, I was walking 3 miles a day. Luckily, my wife was she loved walking, so she walked with me. But I started something that I have not stopped today. I exercise all the time. I have more energy than people that are 25 years younger than I am. I go to the gym. Sometimes a little 30-year-old young girl, 5 foot tall, would get next to me on the next machine, and she just embarrasses me. She'll lift a weight that just, oh my God, I feel like leaving the gym. I've got a big ego. So anyway, your health is extremely important. You have to work on it. And I think there are two parts of health. Number one is exercise. Number two is the way you eat. Both are just as important. With good exercise is going to come self-confidence. That's a third thing you have to have. But that will come with exercise. When I was in the military, at the end of our basic training, we had a course called the self-confidence course. I don't know why they called it that. I went down and I looked at it and I said, I'm going to die. I'll never do this. I can't do that. And I did it. I don't know how I did it. I was 130 pounds. I was skin and bones, but I did it. I had a lot. I was determined I was going to do it, but I did it. Well, that's the story of you. You will say, no, I cannot do this, but you can do it. You can do things you think now are impossible. I guarantee you. There are things you can do that you will not believe you can do, but you can. There are very few things you cannot do in life. You're not a bird, you can't fly. So there's some things you can't do. But there's things you can do that are just amazing. About 2 weeks ago, I competed in a race walking event. I did the best time that I've ever done in my life. I'm not going to tell you the time. It would embarrass me because someone did it in half that time. But I did really well. That does something to your ego. It does. But we're not here to talk about ego. We're here to talk about you have to exercise. You got to get off your duff. If you're 40 years old, you're working in an office, you are letting life slide by. You're going to start getting a big pot on you, and it's going to be hard to get out of a chair. The more you sit, the more you eat. If you sit in front of the TV, you'll see the ads. Whatever it is about the TV, it makes you want to eat. You can't do that. You can't. Now you're a big boy or a big girl. And like big boys and big girls, you got responsibilities. The biggest responsibility is to you. You got to take care of yourself. Now, how do you want to retire? Do you want to retire and go places and do things? Or do you want to have the money, be able to afford it, and can't because you can't get off your duff? Okay, maybe you don't have the money now, but I'm saying you got to have the ability to do things when you want to retire. After I retired, I had a chance to go to South America. And I thought, if I don't do it now, I will never do it. I did it. I spent over a month in South America. I had the time of my life. I did so much walking, and I had to see everything. Of course, you can't see everything, not in a month. But I went everywhere I could. Now, after you retire, there's going to be opportunities open to you. You have to have the energy to do these things, or you can't take advantage of the opportunities. Let me tell you the most mind-opening thing about retirement. Retirement means freedom. It's not an end, it's a beginning. When you were born, that was the first step. You became a teenager, that's the second step. You either got married, you got in a relationship, that's the third step. That taught you how to compromise. You got a good job and you got a career, that's the fourth step. Retirement comes, that's the fifth step, your final step. Those are the years of freedom. You can do the things you want to do. You can go to places you want to. You don't have the responsibility of kids anymore. Tomorrow you decide, I want to go to Wichita, Kansas. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you can do it. Just get in the car and go. Freedom. Remember when you were a teenager? Freedom. Sit in the backyard and blow bubbles. Whatever turns you on, you can do it. And that's what I'm doing. That's the life I live now. I can do whatever I want, when I want, how I want. But you have to exercise. So I want you to start walking. If you can walk fast, get the heart to pumping, good. But don't start out that way. Start out walking. Start building endurance and stamina. If you can walk some stairs, that's good, but walk. Level walk first. If you can walk 100 yards, that's good. Start walking 150, 200, 300. Walk a mile, 2 miles. I want you to walk 35 minutes, 35 at one time. What it's going to do is it's going to make your blood start moving. It's going to make you feel better. You cannot exercise and not feel better. I go to the gym, come out of the gym, I'm ready to go. I have so much energy, I'm burning up. My girlfriend says, "You've been to the gym again," because I'm just bouncing all over the place. I've got so much energy, and you can too. So no matter where you are in life, whether you're 40, 50, 60, start getting ready for retirement, because that's when we boogie. We're going to get after it. We're going to do all the things we wanted to do. When I was married, my wife did not dance, so I got out of the habit. For some reason, she just couldn't hear the beat of the music. I lost her 13 years ago. So now I've had to become a new Bill, yeah? The Bill that now is a single guy, so I had to learn how to be single. So I've learned how to live alone. But I'm certainly not alone in life. I have many, many friends. I have business associates. And I have a wonderful family that supports me. I have people that love me all around me and that I love. You got to have energy to do all these things, and that means you have to exercise. Now, I want to start talking about your eating, because that's the next part of this. Yeah, I know. When I was 40 years old, I worked in an office, and I ate in a restaurant every day. Restaurants serve what feels good to eat. That's terrible for you. That food consists of lard, sugar, and salt. The three most terrible things you can put in your body. I love sugar. Cakes, ice cream, ooh. But you gotta have discipline. If you live to be 60 years old, you've got discipline because you've had to learn things like that. You can't run red lights. You can't speed. You've learned those things have consequences. Well, same thing with your diet. You have to learn how to eat. The rule I try to follow is whatever is in front of me to eat, 70% vegetables. I eat chicken and fish for the other part. I avoid meat. That does not mean that you can't eat meat. I'm not coming to you as a doctor. I'm telling you what has worked for me. I weigh 158 pounds. I'm 5'9". I'm well within the guidelines of what I should weigh. I wish I weighed a little less, but I've been told, no, that's too little. You ought to weigh what you weigh now or a little more. I just recently had some blood work done because my annual physical is coming up. I look at my blood work and I'm an advocate. I looked at all the things I should look at to make sure I'm within the guidelines of my cholesterol, my blood sugar. I'm looking for anything that's changing, and it's not. It's everything is within the guidelines. And still talking about health, there is one advocate for you, and that is you. There's no one going to do that job for you. You have to do it. You have to take charge of your own health. You have to be the one sitting in there with your doctor and not listening to the nonsense that's going on and not listen to the gobbledygook and him blowing smoke and telling you things you do not understand. Tell him, stop, talk to me in English. Tell me what's going on. They will not do it willingly. You have to ask. You have to be the advocate for yourself. If you don't understand things, do not leave until you get the answer. Stick up for yourself. Well, don't get arrested. So, you got to exercise, you got to eat correctly. So when you get to that day that you do exercise, that you do finally retire, you got the energy and the ability to go and do things. Now the next video I'm going to talk about how you finance this great journey into the unknown. And then my final video is going to be, what do you do when you get to be retired? Boy, that was a big question for me. And I'll explain what I did and how doors start opening for me, and the ones that I took advantage of and the ones that I didn't. I don't regret very many things in life. I've done many, many things, but I'll talk about those things. Most importantly, I'll talk about my mistakes as well as my successes. I've had a lot of successes. And I'll try to do the best job I know how to do to give you advice on how to get ready. But if you do the things that I did, if you don't succeed, I'm going to be greatly surprised, because I have had a fun time in retirement. If you have half the fun that I've had in retirement, people are going to look at you and say, God, I wish I was that guy or that girl. My girlfriend and I were on the dance floor the other night, and I don't know what we did, but we screwed up the footwork, something terrible. I was doing one thing, she was doing something else. We laughed so hard we couldn't even dance anymore. People look at us, and I know they're saying, boy, I wish I could be that couple. I'm having fun in life. I enjoy this. This is the best part of my life. I didn't have more fun when I was a teenager. I have more fun now. I do ridiculous things. I can do it. I was standing in the Hobby Lobby the other day, right behind my girlfriend, and I walked up really close behind her and started blowing in her ear, and she was laughing and saying, "Stop it! Stop it!" People were looking at us. Life is fun. Life is good. It can be good for you too. I'll see you later. In the meantime, take care of yourself. Stay well, stay fit.